Have you ever been treated like you're just there? Like your presence is a given, not a gift? Some people won't see your value, not because you don't have it, but because they think you'll never walk away. But here's the truth. Silence speaks louder than begging, and absence hits harder than words. People don't appreciate warmth until the fire's gone. They don't miss the sun until the sky turns cold. And they won't see your worth until you stop placing it in their hands. Imagine a lighthouse standing tall, never asking for praise. Ships ignore it until the night turns violent, until the waves roar. That's when they look for the light they once took for granted. You are that light. You don't need to argue. You don't need to explain. Just step back. When you stop trying to be seen, they'll start looking. When you stop trying to be heard, they'll start listening. And when you stop proving yourself, they'll realize what they've lost. So the question isn't, how do I make them see my worth? The real question is, how do I walk away so powerfully that they feel the silence echo in their soul? Stay with me. This is where it begins. Stay until the end, because the last one will change. Number 1, don't chase people who treat you like you're replaceable. Let their silence speak. One of the hardest truths to accept in life is this: not everyone will see your worth, and that's okay. But what's not okay is staying in places where you constantly have to prove it. When someone ignores your value, it hurts. Maybe it's a friend who stops checking in, a partner who barely notices your effort, or a job where you give everything and still feel invisible. It makes you question yourself. Did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? But here's the reality you need to remember. Their indifference doesn't mean you're not valuable. It means they're not capable of seeing it. People reveal who they are not with words, but with consistent behavior. If someone only shows up when it benefits them, if they forget you until they need you, if they ignore your presence unless you fight for attention, take it as truth, not confusion. That's their character speaking. And you don't need to argue with that. You just need to listen. Epictetus once said, "He who does not value himself cannot value anything or anyone." If someone keeps overlooking you, it may not be about you at all. It may be about their own emotional immaturity, insecurity, or selfishness. Some people are so lost within themselves, they can't see anything valuable outside of their own reflection. Let me give you a real-life example. A guy I know, let's call him Ethan, was always the one trying. He texted first. He made the plans. He checked in. He gave and gave and gave, thinking that maybe one day someone would return the same energy. But over time, he started feeling drained. So he tried something different. He stopped chasing. No texts, no calls, no plans. And then, silence. No one reached out. No one even noticed. At first, it crushed him, but then it opened his eyes. Those relationships were never mutual. He was keeping them alive alone. And what's the point of being in someone's life if you have to beg them to see you? He learned what most people learn too late. The ones who truly value you won't need to be reminded. They'll show up, they'll notice, they'll care without being asked to. So what do you do when someone ignores your worth? You stop chasing. You stop explaining. You stop begging to be seen. Because the more you try to force someone to appreciate you, the more they'll resist. It's like handing someone a diamond, and they keep asking if it's real. Eventually, you stop offering. You walk away and let them figure it out when they're empty-handed. Your silence, your distance, your calm detachment, that's the loudest message you'll ever send. And when they finally realize what they had, when they look back and see how deeply you cared, how much you gave, and how easy it was for them to ignore it, that's when regret creeps in. But by then, it's too late. You're not here to prove your worth to the wrong people. You're here to grow, to thrive, and to give your energy to those who meet you with the same heart. Remember this: you are not for everyone, and not everyone is for you. But your value does not drop just because someone is too blind to see it. Let their silence reveal everything you need to know, and let your silence be the answer they never saw coming. Number 2, the dog that chases gets ignored. The one that walks away gets followed. One of the fastest ways to lose your power is to beg for someone to see it. When someone ignores your worth, your first instinct might be to prove yourself, to speak louder, show up more, try harder, just to be noticed. And it makes sense. We're human. We want to be seen. We want to feel like we matter. But here's the trap. The more you chase their approval, the more they stop valuing you. It's a harsh truth, but it's real. Every time you over-explain, over-apologize, or stretch yourself just to get a reaction, you're not just giving effort, you're handing over your power. And here's what people learn quickly. If you keep showing up no matter how they treat you, they don't have to respect you. They can ignore, dismiss, or devalue you, and you'll still come back. That's not loyalty. That's control. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." When you crave validation, you put yourself in emotional chains, and they hold the key. But what happens when you stop seeking their validation? What happens when the one who always tried suddenly doesn't? That's when everything changes. Let me tell you about someone. Her name's Maya. She was the kind of woman who gave everything, always the one checking in, saying yes, making time, trying to be enough. At work, at home, in every relationship, she felt like she had to earn her place. But no matter how much she gave, she still felt invisible. Until one day, something inside her shifted. She was tired, not just physically, but emotionally, tired of fighting to be seen. So she did the scariest, yet most powerful thing she'd ever done. She stopped trying. No more chasing, no more over-explaining, no more stretching herself to fit into spaces where she clearly wasn't valued. And slowly, the silence grew loud. The people who once overlooked her began to notice her absence. The ones who used to ignore her started reaching out. Why? Because they finally felt the gap she used to fill. That's the secret. People don't value what they assume will always be there. But take it away, and suddenly, it's all they can think about. So if you're asking yourself, but what if they stop caring when I stop trying? Here's the answer. If they stop caring, they never really cared in the first place. You just saved yourself years of chasing ghosts. And if they do come back, it won't be because you begged. It'll be because you stopped. The moment you stop asking for their attention, you become a mystery, a mirror they have to look into, a presence they once ignored, now gone. So stop chasing, stop proving. Let your silence do what your words never could, because when you stop needing them, that's when they start needing you. Number 3, don't dance for the ghost. When they pull away, let them lose you. Sometimes silence isn't silence, it's a game. There are people who won't ignore you because they've stopped caring. They'll ignore you because they know you do. It's not disinterest, it's a power move, a quiet strategy to see how far they can push before you break. They'll pull back and wait, just to see if you'll chase. They'll go silent, not because they're reflecting, but because they want to watch you overthink. They'll vanish, not to heal, but to see if you'll beg. It's not love, it's control. And every time you bite the bait, every message you send, every explanation you offer, every time you break the silence first, you confirm one thing: they matter more to you than you matter to them. The cruel part: once they see you react, they lose respect. Not because you're weak, but because now they know they can shake you anytime they want. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That's not just Stoic wisdom, it's survival in a world full of emotional manipulators. If they use silence to bait you, the worst thing you can do is take it personally and fall into their trap. What they want is a performance. What they expect is a reaction. So give them nothing. You want to know the move that changes everything? Don't play. No reaction, no chasing, no explaining. Let your calm be your answer. Let your indifference scream louder than their silence. Think of it like a stage. They dim the lights, expecting you to stumble. But instead of fumbling in the dark, you walk off the stage completely. Now they're alone, performing for no one, wondering what just happened. I knew a man once, Daniel. He was dating someone who disappeared every time things got tough. She'd vanish, go cold, shut down communication. At first, he thought it was her way of needing space, so he chased. Every time, texts, calls, apologies for things he didn't even do, just to keep the peace. But then he saw the pattern. This wasn't about healing. It was a pattern of punishment, pulling away to test if he'd beg. So one day, he stopped. He didn't react. He didn't reach out. He simply mirrored her silence and focused on his own life. And like clockwork, she came back, confused, unsettled, because the game only works when the other person plays, and Daniel had finally stepped off the board. That's the lesson here. If someone ignores you not out of pain, but to manipulate you, let them feel what true silence really is. Not silence filled with hope. Silence filled with strength. And maybe you're thinking, but what if they never come back? Good. That means the game is over, and you won. Because someone who uses distance to punish you will never love you properly, and someone who plays games with your mind isn't worthy of your heart. Here's what they'll never expect: you not reacting, you not explaining, you not begging. Let them feel the echo of your absence. Let them sit in the quiet they created. And when they realize they can no longer control you, that's when the power shifts. Not in noise, not in revenge, but in your calm refusal to play. If this spoke to you, like this video, subscribe for more, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Number 4. Let your glow up be so loud, their silence becomes irrelevant. When someone ignores your worth, your first impulse might be to fight for their attention, to explain yourself, to ask, "Why can't you see me?" But here's the truth: most people never learn. You don't rise by forcing people to recognize you. You rise by becoming so great they have no choice. Don't yell, don't beg, don't argue. Evolve. In silence. without a word. The most powerful move you can ever make isn't revenge, it's growth. Think of a seed planted in darkness. No spotlight, no applause, just quiet, patient, disciplined growth. Then, one day, it breaks the surface, it blooms, and suddenly the world notices what had been growing all along. That's what you do when they ignore your worth. You build, you transform, you sharpen every part of yourself until the version of you they once overlooked no longer needs them at all. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." What does that mean? It means stop talking about your potential. Stop trying to convince people who never cared to see you. Become undeniable. Let me tell you a story. There was a man I knew, Liam, smart, talented, hardworking, but somehow always invisible in his workplace. No praise, no recognition, no real opportunity. He thought about confronting his manager, thought about quitting, thought about proving his worth out loud. But he chose another path: silence and self-work. He took courses after hours. He learned new tools, worked on his leadership, polished every skill behind the scenes, quietly, without seeking approval. Months passed. Then something shifted. A major opportunity came up. Suddenly, the same people who once dismissed him were scrambling to bring him in. But by then, Liam didn't need it. He had options. He had grown beyond the space that once ignored him. And that's the lesson. You don't grow to be seen. You grow so that when they do look, it's already too late. Maybe you're thinking, but if I don't say anything, how will they know I'm improving? The answer, they will. Eventually, but it won't matter anymore, because your validation won't come from them. It will come from the new doors that open, the new people who do see you, the future that you earned in silence while they were busy underestimating you. Let your growth haunt them. Let the person they ignored become the person they now envy. You don't need to clap back. Just build quietly. Let your glow-up do the talking. No announcement, no revenge post, no dramatic exit. Just a new version of you they never expected to lose. When you rise above the noise, you become unreachable. And nothing shakes a person more than realizing they ignored someone they'll never have access to again. So don't waste your voice trying to be heard in places that silence you. Use that energy to evolve so far, they'd need wings to reach you. Because in the end, success doesn't shout, it echoes. Number 5, keep your cool while they lose theirs. That's how you win. Here's something most people never realize until it's too late. The one who controls their emotions controls the game. When someone ignores you, belittles your effort, or treats you like you don't matter, your natural instinct might be to react, to raise your voice, to ask why, to prove your worth. That's normal. You're human. You want clarity, closure, or at least some recognition. But let me tell you this. The moment you let someone pull you out of your peace, they win. People who ignore your worth often do it with intention, not always because they've stopped caring, but because they want to test if you still do. It's not about affection, it's about control. They want to see if you'll crack, if you'll chase, if they still have emotional power over you. And that's why your greatest move is no move at all. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Translation, it's not what they do, it's what you make it mean. If you think their silence means you're unworthy, It'll tear you apart. But if you see it for what it really is, a reflection of their own emotional immaturity, it loses all power over you. And that's the shift. There's a woman I know, let's call her AA. She was stuck in a one-sided friendship, the kind where she always had to make the plans, send the messages, carry the weight. If she didn't reach out, nothing. Days would pass, weeks, silence. At first, it hurt. She thought, maybe I'm too much, maybe I'm not enough. But then something clicked. Instead of confronting, instead of reacting, she just stopped. No anger, no announcement, just peace. And that peace, it confused the friend. Suddenly they were the one wondering, why isn't she chasing? Did I lose her? But by then, AA had already redirected her energy. She was thriving in new spaces, forming healthier connections. She didn't need to explain herself. Her absence explained everything. That's what happens when you master your emotions. You flip the script. Maybe right now you're thinking, but if I stay quiet, won't they think I don't care? Let them. Because emotional mastery isn't about pretending you don't feel. It's about refusing to let those feelings control your actions. Your calmness isn't weakness. It's power in its rawest form. People expect you to break, to beg, to fight for validation. But when you remain still, when their chaos meets your calm, they start questioning everything. That's when the regret sets in. So don't give them your fire. Keep it. Fuel your own growth. Use their silence as space to evolve. The truth is, when you react emotionally, you give away your power. But when you pause, reflect, and redirect that energy inward, you rise. And they'll notice. Oh, they'll notice. But by the time they do, you'll be too far ahead for them to reach. Because the most unshakable revenge isn't revenge at all. It's peace. It's progress. It's becoming untouchable. Number 6. Leave like you own the road. That's when they start looking back. The strongest move you can make when someone ignores your worth? Walk away like you never needed them in the first place. It's easy to believe that if you just hold on a little longer, try a little harder, they'll finally wake up and see you. But the truth is, some people only recognize your value when it's gone, when you stop fighting, when your silence replaces your effort. And the key isn't walking away in anger, it's walking away in peace, with your head high and your heart intact. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A wise man is content with himself and values his own approval above that of others." That means you don't need their recognition to feel complete. Real confidence is quiet. It doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. It simply says, "If you can't see me, I'll go where I am seen." Think of a flame, warm, steady, glowing. But if someone keeps ignoring it, one day it goes out, and suddenly they miss the heat they thought would last forever. That's what happened with Olivia. She gave her all in a relationship where she always felt unseen. Until one day she left, not with drama, but with dignity. And months later, he came back. But by then, she had already moved forward. That's the secret. You don't walk away to hurt them. You walk away to heal you. And when you do it with quiet strength, they feel it. Long after you're gone. Let them wonder. You've got better places to be. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.